Let's do it live on a Thursday edition from the undisclosed location on the west side of Cleveland. Mirley-Bo, the Great Z. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. The official Nana still trying to figure out exactly where this location is, dropping a lot of hints, she has questions that
At what point will she track your phone?
I don't
Does
think
she have an ability to do that?
No.
That would be the next thing I'd be curious about if she could track it somehow.
Careful,
No.
Nana.
Yeah.
We don't want to put a picture up with security.
Listen, we got security work in the area, as a matter of fact.
Correct.
On the reg, so she's not going to get far.
I don't know. She's pretty savvy.
If she's there and Boykin and RJ have her, who's that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
Never seen that woman before in my life.
People say that now. Apparently, that's something that people can say. Never seen that person
Never
before
seen
in my
it.
life. Yeah.
Never. Really?
Never seen him.
Interesting.
Weird.
Amazing how that
no,
happened.
but everything's good. Had a great day yesterday. Obviously, enjoyed doing the show with you, and then
No, that was
afterwards,
wonderful day.
went out. Weather could not have been better. I think it was
It's perfection.
a perfect Cleveland day. But so
This
I go
one's
out,
pretty good too.
This
by the
is
way.
this one's phenomenal. Went to the club, was able to get on the course, teed off at about 3:50.
All right. I like that.
3:50 with my buddy Jimmy Reams, the great Reams.
Uh-huh.
We finished.
All right.
We saw one other person the entire day, which I don't understand.
Wow.
Where is everybody?
God bless.
We finished at 6 o'clock,
Wow.
2 hours and 10 minutes,
For 18.
18 holes.
That's awesome.
It couldn't have
That's
been better.
That's Apex Golf.
Apex
Well,
golf.
That's as good as it
why you
gets.
belong to a country club.
Yeah, but
Apex golf.
I'm
That's
gonna
a
tell-
perk.
No,
I'm gonna
that-
tell
I
you
don't
what,
understand why it
that's
was like
more
that.
That's more like a Sharon or a country experience. That's
more
what
like
you just
having a
laid out.
private
Like,
club.
Yeah, that doesn't even
Like my own course. That's
yeah,
what
that,
it was.
that doesn't even really. You don't see that even. That almost never happens. Like that.
Never.
You
On a
played-
day like that.
So let me get this straight. You played 1 through 18 in order.
right.
Did not see it. Like, because you can do it if you bounce around a little bit.
We
you
saw
can try to do
one
that.
person
You can navigate
when we
it.
were on the 13th green. We saw somebody on the 15th green. That was it for the entire day.
I mean, that's as good as it gets.
And we teed off, so we got to the tee, and we were supposed to tee off at 3:40, so we were a little behind. And the group of 350 was there. And we're like, look, we're 2. We promise we won't hold you up. We finished because you can see 17, you can see 11 and 12. We were on 17 when they were on 11.
Yeah. That's
So that
about
was
right.
we said that was a pretty judicious jump. in, but
Good move. And that's
played well.
that is a nice play out of that group
Yeah,
to see that.
Yeah.
And I think probably knowing your game, and I'm assuming Reams' game is in a vicinity. So once that happens and you see like the talent, and it's like, okay, like there's no reason for us to slow this
worry
down.
about,
Like
yeah.
you guys enjoy yourself, crush, and let's go. I do think that if you are somebody who hops in front of someone, you need to play either at a pace where they never come up near you, or
There's us again.
If you can't do that, then you honestly need to skip a hole, or you need to go to the middle of the fairway.
Right.
Like there's no reason.
Right.
If
No.
you're somebody who's like, hey, can we play through? Then I don't ever want to see you again.
Right. We were done with 2 before they even got to 1 green.
Yeah.
So we were like, yeah, we were long. gone.
Works
But
out for everybody. Then.
It was great. Had a great.
I would pay a premium. Now you can't mimic that experience because courses wouldn't be in business
Right.
if that was always the case.
Right.
But I do think one thing that I would love to see would be an upcharge in pricing for a little bit more breathing room in a tee time.
Sure.
So that there was room both sides, so that I'm not running into people.
And they're not running
I
into
play
me.
so fast, no one's ever coming up on me. Like
Same.
I'm flying.
Same
I'm
when
not.
You have a foursome with the boys. Yeah.
You're gone. Even with the boys, like we're moving along. We're
sure.
not.
Sure.
When you have the foursome with the
Play
boys,
fast.
It's
yeah,
called ready golf.
yeah, you put the ball in the ground. You know,
Yeah.
let's go, move it along, and so like that's the whole operation. But I would pay a premium for more space in a tee time. Like I think even public courses should do that. Like I know they're trying to slam as many golfers as possible. I would go an upcharge in the round so that I had some space.
The truth
Make
is,
it
you're
work.
going to catch. You're going to the way that you play. Even if you start with 20 minutes between, you're still going to catch them. So it's going to be the same ultimately. So your upcharge isn't going to.
We had drama last night on the golf league, minor golf league drama,
Oh,
but it based on the pace of play.
got to play fast.
In our group text, I get a text on the 8th hole. Yeah, Shout out to Pollock, who had a curfew, had to be home by 8 o'clock. And he's directly behind us, my one buddy.
No man in
They-
a foursome
they've-
has a
They've
curfew.
hit in, well, I don't know, based on the text that was sent on the group text. It was like,
I mean, a foursome
"Gibbs,
with
your-
the boys
your
is
group's
unimpeachable."
on the clock. And
Your group?
My group.
You were playing slow?
Now, there's like 22 of us. There's a group right in front of us we can see.
Yeah.
And we can see the group right in front of them.
There's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go. But yet, pretty sure my guy had a curfew. Based on the way he was a little agitated at the pace of play.
Listen, you got to have those are pace of play. Those are fighting
biggest
words.
issue in
oh,
golf is
Of course
pace
it
of
is.
play.
Yeah.
It's
Listen,
the
you don't want to
biggest.
don't be a Cantlay.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want to do.
Be ready.
But I thought yesterday, and it was I couldn't believe it going back to when you had said I was wise when I saw Friday on the calendar where the weather looked good.
That.
Like, let's get out of here and let's enjoy this
yeah.
because you don't have that much time. You got to make every nice Friday in Cleveland count.
You have to.
So that's what we did. But I was stunned. I thought I know it was only a Wednesday, or a first Friday. I don't understand why I thought there should be more people. So we were able to finish at 6. Then we went and we sat down and had a few cocktails.
Sure.
Miss K came up. We ate on a patio. Sunset, beautiful. Food was great. Everything was great. And the pace of play was good for me. It got to Jimmy. I was 6 up after 6.
Yep.
On the 6th hole, I chipped in when Jimmy finally thought he was going to make some moves there, and I chipped in on him. So the match was not really – it was not competitive, unfortunately, after that point. But Jimmy gave it his all. He's a real competitor.
Out there battling.
We were playing Mama Said Knock You Out. Don't call it a comeback to try to get Jimmy going. But it was
How
fun.
many strokes is he getting?
He was getting 10. I shot a 70. I was 33 on the front. I was pretty good.
You were
But I was
balling,
bummed. My best at Walden ever was a 69, and I was
I
not
bet it was.
able to get it done.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, I feel like I choked, though.
That's awesome.
A bogey to par 5 on the back. Can't bogey a par 5.
Hate to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it, though. That's very enjoyable.
Oh, it was
Very enjoyable.
It was like the best first Friday.
Yeah.
It felt like it could have been an actual
That's what
Friday.
it should be.
Well, yeah.
At its best, that's what First Friday is.
Yeah, it's
is that
Friday
It's
in
a
the middle of
late
the week.
a late afternoon, cocktails, nice meal, enjoy yourself, act accordingly. Even if you tie one on, all you got to do is today.
It's Thursday.
Nothing. Another
We're
Friday.
ready.
Stack another Friday.
Yeah.
And away you go. Today is is it? Are we sure? Feel like schedule release day's been going on for like 3 days.
There were
like
games
this.
that I didn't even realize had been announced. I went through it. I'm like, wait a minute. When did that
Oh
get
my
announced?
gosh.
I don't like this what they
Leakathon?
call they're calling it the breadcrumb approach. I don't like this. By the way, the fact that they've turned this into something is really crazy. Like, it's just the schedule.
See, I disagree with you both. We had this conversation off the air yesterday. Maybe we had it on the air.
I think
don't
we
know.
had it on the air. I think I brought it on the air.
Like last night, just peppered with questions. Everybody wants to know, man.
Were they peppered with questions because you're you and they're thinking you may have
No.
insider information? Or do you think if you weren't there, they would still be talking about it?
I think that they would still be talking about
I
it.
think you're underestimating your impact on the conversation.
Yeah, I'm a tremendous slouch. I think people in general want to know.
Yeah. I think
I
you're-
want to know when the home opener is,
Yeah.
who you're playing in the home opener, and what primetime games you have. That's it.
But it's not like, I guess the point is it's not, you could do this at any time and those same curiosities would be
Yep.
would be scratched.
Yep.
You'd get those. You could do this in any time and you could do it. What they've done, which is really bright and which is also why I'm surprised they haven't done a draft lottery, is they've created now kind of tentpole events
That's
for
right.
the entire off season
Correct.
for their network.
Because they didn't have one in May.
Right.
Now you do.
So the combine has become what the combine has become. You know, in the NFL world, the combine, like I think the combine's a lot like the schedule. Like in the NFL world, the combine's the biggest deal in the history of the world because the whole NFL is there, and we all think we're all so important, and we are. But at the same time, like for the average fan at the end of February, I don't think they care. If you're not picking number one and you're not picking a quarterback, who's looking at times of sprints and stuff? Like it's the diehards are, but the average fan is not. And most of the fans that consume the NFL are casual average fans. I think the schedule is very similar. The diehards are into it. It's something because it's on, and it's something that's pushed by NFL media, by the NFL Network, and all of that. As it's the biggest deal in the history of the world. We've known who we're going to play for a long time.
For sure. I would say with the combine, at least you get to see people do something. there is some type of competition to the 40, and
But we don't get to see.
We see that.
No.
We don't see that anymore. And honestly,
I
like,
just thrive in the bar.
do you remind? You said it. Do you remember anybody like coming up to you and saying, "Oh my God, did you see DK Metcalf's cone drill?"
no, but I do. I remember people coming up to me and saying, "Oh my
know?
God, did you see DK Metcalf?"
For sure at the
Yes, I
combine,
did.
but like when I
Yeah.
got back,
Sure,
it's not
sure.
like people were coming to me with that.
No,
You know what I mean?
No.
So
It's
this
right,
is today.
That's February. March is free agency
Right.
frenzy. April's the draft. May's the schedule release. June they do like the mandatory mini camp thing
Yeah.
where everybody gets all excited about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then July is the return to football.
Well, and they do the NFL 100. That's in July and August.
Yep.
So they have that bleeds in. It's a program.
And you get return to football. You
And
get
then you're on.
preseason and regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no month
Rinse
that
and
isn't
repeat.
accounted for. February Super Bowl and the combine.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more as we're going to pick up another game at some point as we go to an 18-game season.
Sure, sure.
So that'll all get pushed back. So it's I mean that's kind of where it is. So we have a that said, I think it's fun as hell. I love seeing where these matchups are, and my favorite thing is like trying to decipher what the networks think of teams.
Yes.
So that to me is really, really interesting. Like, who are they betting on? Because they're using the smartest people in the business to decide what games to put where. So to me, that's the most fun.
So I have a theory.
Go.
Everybody's up in arms about the Chiefs and the Lions.
Was not on something we thought is a possibility.
No, but I did make a kind of a flippant comment. Like, they could put the Chiefs against the worst team on their schedule.
Yes.
And it's going to do the same ratings because it's
That's
the
right.
first game of the season.
first
the
game,
Chiefs.
it's the Chiefs.
And I feel like they said, we're not going to give you the Bengals. We're not going to give you the Dolphins right now. We're not going to give you the Super Bowl rematch. We're going to give you the Lions, a team that's somewhat interesting and is, they're rising up, and you're going to get some Dan Campbell stuff. But we're not giving you one. That's not one of the top 5 options, but we're going to give it to you
no.
because it's still going to do monster ratings.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that we mentioned obviously the Chargers. Once we saw that the Eagles and Dolphins were out of it,
Yep.
and the Bengals,
Yep.
then we thought Chargers and Broncos would
Yep.
be the other options to open the season. You did hit it with that, and that it does. I just wish that, to me, I don't want to see this Detroit team then. I want to see them week 7 with
wanna see 'em with
Jameson
Jameson
Williams.
Williams.
That's a different
Yeah,
operation.
Is that are they trying to give them a win versus KC? Like trying to give KC a win on their
I
night
think-
with the Super Bowl banner
Nah,
and the trophy and all that?
Kansas City be favored against anybody. I think your point is the correct one, that it doesn't matter. And that now, and this is the biggest difference in previous years to this year, we don't know what the hierarchy is necessarily. Sunday Night Football always used to have the most juice, and CBS and Fox could like hold some scraps back. But now we have this Amazon thing where they weren't happy about the end of their schedule last year. ESPN is paying a truckload for the Monday night package, so they've got a bigger say at this thing. And we don't have Fox NFC, CBS AFC. So I don't know. I think you're right. I think they were like, you're not having these, but you're going to get the Chiefs and you're going to do $30 million, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that the Monday night, week 1 Monday night, we're always like a couple of West Coast teams in kind of
Yeah,
a
in the late
throwaway,
window, yeah.
and they'd have
Yeah.
the early one would be what, a 7 o'clock, and it'd be,
The early one always felt like it was like the Giants against the Eagles or something like that. It was always an NFC East, Washington, and whatever.
well, the fact that they're getting Buffalo Jets,
Right.
that tells you all you need to know about the change.
Power
in
of
the-
the end of Monday Night
Yeah.
Football. Yeah.
I can understand too the New York side of things. That's 9/11. So
Sure.
I figured they would do that, but I was really surprised you're leading off with
Rodgers' first game as a Jets Monday
Yeah.
Night Football against the
Yeah.
Bills. That's
no
come on.
pressure. No pressure.
That's what I'm saying. There
no
are
pressure, Salah.
There are so many games now because of the power in the AFC that are going to be just awesome. Like that is Buffalo Jets on Monday Night Football. That feels
Week
like
1?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that feels
that's
like a
awesome.
playoff game. If we're going to be involved in games like that, and we're talking just division games that are tremendous. It is amazing they went with the Lions, but it's got to be.
It's got to be what you said,
Yeah.
that it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And the Lions are a team that
And
they
they
can at
run
least
Hard
talk
Knocks
about as like a
and-
come-up team.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
right.
You could see how you could talk yourself into the Lions being a team of
Now,
consequence.
so that leads me to my next question about this. Are we trying to christen the Lions too early here?
I don't think so,
I don't-
Gibby. I think Z's got it. I think it's just there's intrigue around him. There's a fiery coach that everybody remembers from Hard Knocks. Everybody remembers what they did to the Packers in the last game of the season.
Yes.
So they have that juice to them.
Yep.
I wish Jameson Williams hadn't gambled in the facility because I think if he
I wish they
hadn't
just
done
had
it-
reasonable rules. So
or
what?
reasonable rules, whatever. Either one, you pick it. Either follow the unreasonable rules or have reasonable rules.
Correct.
I just wish that they had him because I think
So does my fantasy team.
without him, I think there's a lot of juice off of it. From my perspective, in terms of wanting to see what they can be, you're still going to watch the game because it's the opener. It's Thursday. It's the Chiefs. They're the most fun
And
of
it'll be
anybody you can watch in the
fun.
league. Yeah.
And the lines are still fun.
Yeah. They're just not fully formed like the way you'd want them to be.
We also wouldn't mind if they go out there and it's like Mahomes just puts on a show and it's like a 38-0 drubbing.
Well, that feels like it's in play.
Definitely.
I mean, I have a feeling them offensively this year will be better than last year. Sky Moore year 2, like all of that stuff.
Kid, that
Like,
Rashee Rice that they drafted.
yeah, they'll be a show no matter what. Some other ones we know. Week 5 reportedly Dallas at San Francisco.
The game of my youth.
That was the game, man.
Team of the 80s versus the team of the 90s.
Yeah. That's my favorite color juxtaposition matchup in the league. When the blue and silver, the gold and red, it just matches perfectly. So you have that. That one was announced.
That's Sunday night football.
That's Sunday night. Also, 49ers at Eagles in Week 13. The second Christmas Day game has been announced. It's Raiders at Chiefs. Boy, the Chiefs are everywhere.
I feel like there
Everywhere.
isn't a cap.
Well,
On
is
these
that
prime-
considered a primetime game?
Yes. When you're
Yeah.
the one game and a window, to me that's
But
prime time.
is primetime considered night? Sunday night, Monday night,
I think if
Thursday
you are
night.
unopposed by any other game in the NFL, it's a prime
That's a
time
prime
game.
I don't have a problem with that.
I don't
That's
disagree,
my-
but I don't know
my
what I
definition.
don't know what the definition is for the league.
Prime time, call it prominent. They are in how many
Yeah.
prominent games are you? How
Yeah.
many unopposed national
I would
football
like
league
Patrick
games are you in?
Mahomes every week.
I feel
That's
like
what
they're
every
going to be in a
network-
billion. I feel like the Jets are going to be in a billion. Is just
Yeah.
the way it kind of feels right now. I think that the Niners, Eagles, Cowboys are going to be in a billion. This league is the top of the league is loaded.
There's a
And
lot
it
of
is
ways
gonna
you
be
can go.
Fun.
Yeah, there's
Bengals,
a lot of
I
ways.
bet, are going to be all
The Bengals
over
will
it.
have the max. The Bills will have the max. Yeah. Whatever that is, if there even is still a max, they'll be littered with it. There's so much star power. There's so many young. We've just never had young quarterbacks like this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And you're about to inject a couple more next
dozen,
year.
and next year you'll add 2 more to the mix at least, maybe 3, if you believe in Ewers. It's a lot. It's a lot of young talent in the league. So ours will go live tonight. When is that?
8 o'clock.
And then everybody. That's the other thing I think that fans don't realize, but like the NFL schedule release for the team media teams is the Super Bowl. Am I overselling that?
Boy,
Like those videos that get put out and all that stuff, like it feels like that's the Super
Schedule release?
The schedule release videos, it feels like that's become like the in-house media team's Super Bowl. Like land the plane on that.
I think
and
that's fair.
annihilate everybody. The one we did with
given what's going on in our building the last 48 hours,
like the
Yeah.
Office one we did a couple of years ago was incredible. I
Did
mean, there's
Friends.
yeah. The Chargers had a good one a couple of years ago that
Yeah,
I
the
remember.
anime
The anime one was really good.
Really good.
They've had like 2 straight years. Like the bar is
The Cowboys
high
had
for
good
them.
one. There, you can also tell though there are different budgets and different. I would even almost say sets and camera equipment and things that certain teams are doing are operating. Their video departments must be just ginormous with unlimited budgets to do some of the things that they're doing. Like the Rams draft video.
Yeah,
2 years
right,
ago that
right.
had 6 Hollywood stars in it and was looked like a real movie trailer.
I also think
That feels-
that's a product of location, right?
Fine, but that's an enormous. They're playing. Well, the Chargers are there too, so they've got. It feels like they've got an enormous budget and opportunity there.
Yeah.
I think people will like ours. I'm excited about it.
The I mean, can we? There's several people on the beat who have reported, or have said, or do we steer clear?
I
of that?
think we probably want to steer clear
Steer
of it
clear.
because I don't
Because I've seen it
know.
around.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm sure people are hearing about it too. We'll see.
There's lots of speculation.
Sure.
Speculation.
Mary Kay reporting Deshaun Watson is taking 16 of his teammates to Puerto Rico next week. Watson, they will miss the final week of
I
phase
missed the
2
invite for that.
a voluntary offseason program. It's been okayed by Coach Stefanski.
16.
That's what Mary Kay has in her story.
Does she
16.
list them?
No. Now, obviously, the rookies have to stay behind. So, like, Tillman won't be on that trip.
All right, let's count them.
Like, I don't know. Are they just skill guys or
I
are
would
they
guess.
linemen?
Yeah.
All right, let's count them.
Maybe linemen.
Amari,
Yeah.
DPJ,
Yeah.
Goodwin,
Yeah. Bell.
Moore, Bell.
Yeah.
What are we at, 6?
Amari, DPJ, Bell, Goodwin, Elijah Moore's 5.
Okay. Schwartz.
Probably. Njoku.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I
Akins,
was out of
Harrison
that room.
Bryant.
That gets you to not. That's
Jakeem
9.
Grant. I bet Jakeem
Yeah,
Grant.
Grant is 10. Chubb, Ford, Felton, 13. Well, at that point, then you're talking about, does he take a center?
Or are we missing a couple of these and he takes the top 5 linemen?
Hold on.
Yeah, we could have some of these ancillary guys that maybe he takes the 5 big boys up front.
Yeah.
I've never been to Puerto Rico other than to fly through to the Virgin Islands.
You can now fly direct
Yeah.
from Cleveland on Frontier.
So I think
Looking
it is
into
going to be
when we
all
depart
skill,
on June
all
8th.
skill, no rookies. So I don't think any linemen are going.
Okay, so in other words, it'll be Woods, Baldwin, Darden, Weston.
Woods is hurt, so not Woods, but yes.
That group. It would
Goodwin?
be every wide receiver on the
Goodwin,
roster,
for sure.
minus Tillman, all the backs, and the tight ends.
Yep.
Mike Harley
There you go.
Like Harley Jr.
Jr.
Yeah. I like it. It's gonna be fun.
What do you got going on in Puerto Rico? What are we doing?
I'm sure they're gonna.
Oh, there's some good
They're gonna
nightlife. Is
Is there
bomb.
beach-ins? What's the resort? What's our resort situation?
There are a lot of great resorts down there. The San Juan.
Is there a Four Seasons down there? Is there a little bit of a? Can you get yourself a St.
There are
Regis?
a couple resorts down
Can
there.
you get yourself
Oh,
a?
yeah.
That type of thing. I'm thinking about. I mean, Oh yeah, there's a Ritz. There you go.
Oh yeah.
That's the world you're going to be in. Like you're not going to.
The San Juan is a famous hotel down there.
Because the other thing you have to have is you're going to have open green space.
You got to train somewhere.
You have to have an open field of grass to sling it around a little bit.
The Caribbean Hilton is a nice one in down there for sure.
I'm saying that they're going to go to the Dorado Beach, a
like
Ritz-Carlton Reserve.
What about the St. Regis Bahia Beach Resort and Golf Club?
That's just going to be a matter of, is there enough? I like what you said with the brand. The question is that something where you have enough green space?
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a Fairmount El San Juan.
So there are no traditional all-inclusive resorts in Puerto Rico.
He's
going
not
to an
doing
all-inclusive.
all-inclusive, Gibbs.
What?
Why not?
Come on. He's
Didn't
not
he do
going
that
that,
last
Gibby.
year? Wait a minute.
He's going
He did last
a
year.
la carte.
They went to Atlantis.
Isn't that all-inclusive?
No.
All right. I didn't know that.
No, they want you. in
No,
that
you pay $32 for a water at the Atlantis.
Oh, that's right.
you
You
pay
had
$50.
You had
I
a
was there.
dinner with Bootsy that required you to take a second loan out of
Oh,
your
my
had-
God.
house.
That's when
That's
he fought.
50
He's like, I want surf and turf.
No way, dude. That's $1 billion. $50 for the chicken breast entree at every restaurant, which is the cheapest one.
Cheapest thing you could get.
If they have like a Kendall Jackson, which is a $9 bottle of wine, that's like $70.
That's right.
It's the most.
They do whatever they want. Flawless.
It is the biggest markup of any. place
Caribbean
in the
has got to
world.
have the biggest markup of any place
Anywhere.
in the world. It has to be.
Agreed.
They do whatever they want with
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So I think he's going there.
Yep.
I think he's. You have to have the green space is going to be the key to it.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to sling it around a little bit. So that's good. All right, very good. We had a. I remember the selling point. We did the St. Regis in Bora Bora for our honeymoon, and I remember the big selling point of it was each overwater bungalow thing had its own butler.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was the big thing. Okay, you get a butler.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real honest with you.
How'd that go?
I think a butler was working like 6 or 7 huts. It wasn't like Ask Jeeves
Just
sitting
standing
outside
over in the corner.
door.
It wasn't ready.
Wasn't like that.
Got it.
Like that. And then the other thing they told us is It's against our culture. It's against Polynesian culture. There's no tipping. No tipping. They think
But
throw me
like,
a little bit here and there.
you
They
got to
liked
give
it.
him a little bit so he's focusing on you and a little more than the other
Well,
five.
that was what I found out was
Yeah.
that there needed to be a little bit, that there was, little for me would be nice too, even though there was a service charge of probably 20% a day on the room every day,
Already, yes.
already mixed in.
Yes.
Yeah. I hate that when they sneak that when they do that to the bill. When they put the service charge and then they want the additional tip.
When we went to our,
I can't even-
no,
Stop it.
stop it.
Just make it bigger. I don't
will
want to
say,
do
though,
math on it. Like, just whatever you think's appropriate, fine.
The idea, like we went to a very nice resort for our mini moon right after we got married, Miss Kay and I.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, there's no tipping at the restaurant. There's no tipping anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to add 20%, to your stay. Well, I'd rather tip on my meals and maybe tip it
Right.
on a valet guy or
Versus the
some-
whole.
Now you're charging me 20% extra on my room, which was not cheap.
Not cheap. No.
This is a horrible.
This is not a good. I don't win here.
No, lose. And what I said, and I said this to them when I was going out, I said, obviously, people who are coming here for it's a special occasion,
Yeah.
or they have planned for and budget for, or it is money is not an object in my
Correct.
life, and this
Yeah.
is where I'm going to go stay. I would have felt better if they had just said the room was whatever the room plus 20% was. If they had just said that's the room rate and then didn't charge me 20% on my room
Yes.
at the end, because it was kind of like, what do you mean?
Right. This is not what I booked.
No.
This is not what we agreed to.
Right.
In any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like on
Resort fees.
airplanes now. Charge everybody in the place $5 extra and give them their free Coke.
Oh gosh, yeah. Awful. That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good. No good. All right. It is a mailbag Thursday. You can tweet your questions to us at Gibbe, who is at Browns_daily. The best questions get asked at 2:30 today. We'll keep an eye on the schedule releases as we go along over the course of the program. In addition to that, we'll have a little fun with who do we think deserves the most primetime games? And, of course, the mailbag coming up in the final hour. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. I'm with Renew Home Exteriors Siding and Roofing Products. Bo here for my great friends at Renew Home Exteriors. Don't spend all day with high-pressure sales guys. In fact, the team at Renew won't waste your day with hours of negotiating. Far from it. Renew offers an upfront, fair price to make your project easy. And this month, take advantage of pre-pandemic pricing, plus no interest or payments for 24 months. Renew Home Exteriors, superior products, superior service. Visit RenewEstimate.com for more. Mr. Z?
Yeah, the Giants have just announced that their legacy games are back, which means they will wear the beautiful blue uniforms with the navy
blue
helmet
lid,
with
yeah.
the
Yeah,
Giants
those
on
are
the side, the
nice.
white stripe, the white face mask. They'll be wearing those again in 2023. Beautiful.
Isn't
Love
that
it.
something where when those uniforms were their uniforms, I didn't like them? Just the Giants writing on them.
Uh-huh.
And I actually liked when they went to like the Frank Gifford bright blue NY.
Yep.
I think they actually have two good ones. I think they're both pretty
They're
good.
both pretty good, yeah.
But when you see those, and it's interesting, they have not worn them with blue tops. They've only worn those with white over white has been the look. They have not worn them with like the throwback jersey, the blue hats.
They've got some pictures from last year that would make it look like maybe
Let me see.
maybe they did. I don't know.
I think that is. Oh, maybe they did do it last year, or is that
'Cause they
last
said they're
year's?
back.
Is that their current uniforms just with the helmet different?
No, that's not.
They wore the Lawrence Taylor.
LT. Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I do like the white ones though. I think the white ones are beautiful.
Yeah, the white with all of it's very, very good. Yeah, very solid. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's a perfect use of the alternate shell. If you have a great history like that, that's the perfect use of it.
Broncos need to play.
They have to this year, don't they?
They've got to. And the orange.
I can't believe
the
the
Carl
Bucs blew it.
Mecklenburgs.
Yeah, I love that. 77. How in the heck could the Buccaneers allow Tom Brady to play there and never wear those?
That's wild.
What did they miss out on? I don't know, like money. What jersey sales? I don't have a jumping off point
I
for
just
that.
would love a picture of it.
But the loss of it, the loss in income of not doing a Brady creamsicle feels exorbitant.
Is the last time they wore those like Josh Freeman? Josh Freeman.
They
for
wore them
sure
during
wore
that
'em.
time, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember anybody else wearing those. Well,
should-
because then we had the two shell was out.
Yeah.
So you had to wait till that rule went away. But the idea that they weren't ready last year because they had Brady, they could have done it last year and they weren't ready, and so you blew it, boy.
How come back in the day you could do a different helmet?
That switched with the two helmet rule because that's when the NFL went overprotective on concussions.
So
they tied one helmet to somehow that's safer because you're only wearing one helmet. Meantime, college teams were wearing 8. Oregon wore a different helmet. In that era, Oregon's wearing a different helmet every week.
game.
Yeah,
every game.
Completely different uniform every
By
week.
the way, to give you some context on how absolutely insane the schedule release has gotten, can I share with you the lineup for the guests that are on the schedule release show tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on NFL Network?
Give it to me.
Chiefs head coach Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Jags head coach Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
Yep.
Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll.
Yep.
Rams head coach Sean McVay. CBS's representative Jim Nance. NBC's representative Mike Tirico. ESPN's representative Joe Buck. Prime Video's representative Al Michaels.
Whoa, the big L.
Fox's representative, and isn't this one interesting? Fox's representative Kurt Menefee.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, but he's the studio host.
Right, but like, what was the guy's name who did
Kevin
it this year?
Burkhardt?
Yeah, Burkhardt. Is he going to be the future guy?
Or send Greg Olson at least.
I think they're worried that he's not going to be there either, because Brady's supposed to start next year, in 2024.
I don't know. By the way, that is
It's a nice lineup.
Michaels, Buck.
Yeah.
They've never had. I don't recall that ever where they're going to have guys call in and talk about, oh, you get to call this game. Are you excited? Oh, you get to do this. Are you
Can you
excited?
imagine like they don't care? Like, just give me good games.
That's
If you're a
that's
play-by-play
what they
guy,
care
that's all you want is give me good games. I don't need brands. I just want games. That's it.
So from some schedule rumors that have dropped, Niners, Seahawks on Thanksgiving as the primetime game on Thanksgiving.
All right.
Week 13 Monday Night Football, Bengals at Jaguars.
Have we seen a Bengals Chiefs? We know. Mm-hmm. Bengals play the Bills this year.
We know the rumors about Bengals and us.
Yeah. The undisclosed rumors.
That's right.
Here from the undisclosed location. Yeah, I mean it's fun. I think this is an example of the this is the NFL created this thing. They've made this a thing.
It is.
I don't know if it'll rate. Like it's going head to head with. I mean, my feeling on it is that, like you saw the entire Packers schedule release yesterday. Lee?
Yeah. So they play Thanksgiving.
They play a
Lions.
bunch of. They have like four
Like
or
five.
five primetime-ish
Why?
things.
Because they're the Packers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're betting on the kid.
SI saying now
It's
that
like when they put the Steelers on. They know they're going to get
They
some
know they're
ratings.
going to rate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jets hosting the Chiefs Sunday Night Football October the 1st from SI. There's another one.
Man, that's good.
That doesn't suck.
Greg Bedard saying
Someone got into. I made a comment. I was talking about the Jets today. We were doing a tiers thing. It was off that 33rd. Remember that contender things? Got a 33rd team did something this
Yep.
week.
Yeah.
It was like contenders next, and then it was like things not quite there yet, like all of this. So we're doing a little segment on that. And I was saying that to me, the Jets should be in the contenders. Like they should be bumped up into contenders, like Super Bowl contenders. And I've been bullish on them.
We did that with Peter King, too.
Yeah, Peter King had one of those.
Yeah.
Earlier in the week. I said I think they should be bumped up to Super Bowl contender. And I got a lot of pushback. Oh, washed up Rodgers, blah blah blah. I think people forget, and it's one of your stats that you bring up, and I cited it. They would be 14-3 if they scored 24 points a game last season.
yeah.
If they would have just done that, they would have been 14-3.
Yes.
And they would have been like 11-5 if they just scored 21. So that's the
Zero
jumping off
weapons.
point. And they got that with 60% passing out of the quarterback. Incompetent quarterback play. Okay? They're going to be better from a skill position standpoint than they were a year ago. If Rodgers just gives you what he gave you last year, which is 66% passer, 2-to-1 touchdown to interception, if he does that, they'll score 24. He has not played with weapons like this since when? I don't even know. Like, is that like peak Jordy Nelson? I mean, I don't
Greg
even
Jennings.
know. Like, Devontae Adams was incredible, but he was kind of on an island. Like, it wasn't like they had not the depth of talent he has here.
No. I mean, their best would have been, when you had Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson together. Would have been the best that he had. Or Devontae
Like a decade ago?
and Jordy together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So they have better than that now. Like, you don't need him to be MVP Rodgers. Like, he can be.
And they had Randall Cobb then. I mean, it's probably.
That's probably it. It's probably
Yeah, it
right
was-
there with that one.
Yeah. Devontae,
But that
Jordy, and Randall Cobb. Or Jordy, Greg
But
Jennings. and
was
Randall Cobb.
Devontae fully formed when
He was in the 14 draft, Devontae. So
yeah,
that's
so he would that would have been it. Sometime in those 15, 16
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that's most
I'll try
close to
pull-
this.
I'll try to pull that up.
So the point remains, though, they were 7-4 before losing their last 6 games with
Yes.
incompetent quarterback play.
Yes, and they've got a
Like,
very, very
the
good
Wilson
defense.
kid would not throw it to Garrett Wilson.
Correct.
Refused.
All right, let me take a look here.
By the way,
2014.
Edwin Rivera Jr. tweets at us, going back to our San Juan conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boys just got back from San Juan, stayed at the Carib Hilton.
Caribbean Hilton, that's what I said.
Caribbean Hilton, where the pina colada was invented. OMG, I would fly back for one more right now.
Love it. All right, 2000.
Is there a way to do a pina colada without, and I asked this question, I feel like I, of all people, should have the answer to this. Is there a way to do a pina colada and get that flavor without it being a frozen, sugary mess? There must be.
There
But
must
I
be.
got to. I'll source that myself. Go ahead.
Okay. 2014 Green Bay Packers. Rodgers throws for 4,381 yards, 38 touchdowns, 5 picks, and a quarterback rating of 112. Leading receivers, Jordy Nelson, 98 for 15, 19, and 30. Randall Cobb, 91 for 12, 87, and 12. Rookie Devontae Adams, 38, 446, and 3. Now Nelson, we're gonna go to 15. Nelson's gonna miss all of 15. I remember that because I drafted him in every fantasy league while he was injured to save him as a keeper in 16, and he won me the titles in 16. So in 15, they lose Jordy, not nearly as good. He goes 38-21, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks, still obviously very, very good.
Yeah.
Receivers, your leading receivers, Cobb 79, 829, and 6. So the season before you had people blowing up. Devontae 50, 483, and 1 in his second season.
So he doesn't take off for a minute.
James Jones 50, 890, and 8. So yeah, James Jones is going to be like the fourth receiver, I think, in 2016. That's going to be a pretty good comparison, or pretty loaded. So 16, Nelson comes back. He throws 66% completion, 44-28, 40 touchdowns, 7 picks. His ability to not throw interceptions
picks
is
unreal.
unreal.
Yeah.
All right, and then their receivers that year. Now we get going a little bit. Jordy's got 97, 12, 57, and 14. Devontae 75, 997, and 12. Cobb 66, 10, and 4. That's probably the best comparison, maybe.
Yeah. So I think this group can approach that. If Wilson was great last year.
Yes.
If he's in the Jamar Chase situation, the Justin Jefferson type of talent.
Yep.
Even if he's a little bit below them, then they can go.
Yeah. I mean, the best trio was the year when you had Nelson, Devontae, and Randall Cobb all still functioning at a pretty high level.
All right. Prior to the schedule release tonight, let's take a look at which teams have the furthest to travel this season. We go to L.A., Denver, Seattle, and Houston, and don't crack the top half of this list. Seattle has to go the furthest. My guess is Seattle and San Francisco are always on this list.
I would imagine so, right?
There's nowhere near. People don't realize how far Seattle is from places. Like the closest team to them is San Francisco, and you're not hopping in a car,
right,
and driving from San Francisco to Seattle. You can,
No.
but it's not. I wouldn't recommend it.
I've done it.
Is it 8 or 10 hours?
Yeah, at least. It's 6 to get out of the state, and then you got to get up
Oh,
through
gosh.
Oregon.
Then it's way more.
And then you got to get to Washington. So, yeah, I think maybe 10. 10 feels good. 10 feels really good to me.
So I would say that they would be, oh, my God, dude.
A 12?
12, 45,
Okay.
almost 13 hours. People have
No,
no
thank
idea
you.
how big the West is.
Yeah.
If you've never been out West, you just think, because here we can drive through 6 states in a day.
Yeah.
Out here. Out there,
And clearly the TV networks have no idea how big it is and how few people live there. Otherwise, they'd stop showing games at 10 o'clock at night
did it to you again.
in the middle of the week.
It stinks that I wake up and have to go and look at the Warriors.
Yeah.
They win.
Oh, I know.
And they did.
It was the first half was awesome.
First half was great.
When
It was, but you can't stick it out.
Nope.
When are they going to have is the game 6 in LA? Is that at a reasonable time?
No,
Do we
it's
get
10
a
o'clock.
weekend?
10 o'clock, Friday night. 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
What?
Yep.
That's awful.
Seattle to Denver. Best guess. Guess the stats, Gibby. How far is that drive?
Seattle
what is it?
where?
Denver.
20 hours.
No.
Nailed it.
Really?
Nailed it. Good job to you, Gibby.
Gibby.
Good night, everybody.
I would have said 12.
To the
14.
bar we go.
It's like anytime people tell me, when I grew up where I did, and they're like, well, why don't you like the Seahawks? It was 10 hours
Yeah.
from where I grew up to Seattle.
I mean, that's
was
like
not
driving
going to a
here to
game.
Disney.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, well, why didn't you like the Denver Broncos? Because it was 12.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's a full day.
Yeah. That'd be like growing up in Ohio and being like, boy, I don't understand it. Why don't you like the Buccaneers?
Right.
It's so close.
You can get to Florida. That's people I don't think that
They don't understand it.
Yeah.
You don't understand the size of it.
the scope, the breadth,
They don't. Yeah.
the expanse.
Yeah.
I
So
am-
Seattle's
I am-
always going to be on this list. And
I am
Miami makes sense
amazed
if they're on this
that
list.
we are
too.
so far down the list, given 4 trips.
Yeah, buddy, but all of our divisional games are close. I mean,
That's why you have.
the divisional games are all tight. Like
They're all drivable.
Seattle's closest game is 12 hours and 45 minutes in their division. Like
Yeah.
L.A.? What's San Francisco to L.A.? Isn't that 6?
Yep.
Okay, so you're 19 hours
It's
from
a 3-hour
Seattle.
flight. So it's a 3-hour flight.
Right.
Our 3 division games are all less than 1 hour flights.
Correct.
And one of them we don't even fly to.
Correct. Awful.
You can drive there in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's like when people anytime I hear people and there's a lot to be critical about how Larry Scott ran the Pac-12 conference, but anytime people are like, oh, no one's going to I can't believe they're not selling out their championship game. Like, dude, Washington against Oregon in Vegas,
Right.
you're not driving.
Nope.
Those are all flights, brother.
Yep.
It's not like Ohio State trucking over to Indy or Michigan trucking down.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Everything's a flight. That's a difference. It's a huge, huge difference maker.
And I'm not saying we should be at the top, or I would think we were at the top, but like we're not even in the middle of the pack.
It's just those division. It's just the geography.
Most
of the
years
division
we're
games.
probably at the bottom. We have
We have to
we
have the
don't have the
closest-
West involved. If we don't have the
Oh,
NFC
yeah.
or the AFC West
Well,
involved, our schedule couldn't be easier.
Is there a division in football that's closer geographically than ours?
NFC North.
No, because
No,
you have
Minnesota to Chicago's a haul.
and Wisconsin. Right. Right.
Like Detroit to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is way out there.
Oh,
That's a hike.
from a driving standpoint, yes.
Well, that's what we're doing. It's all mileage, right? I mean, that's how we're measuring this is mileage.
Yeah.
So it's all, yeah, I mean, that's a hike. We don't have anything that far. Our farthest is Baltimore. You did that last year, drove it.
Yeah.
What's it, 6?
Baltimore, yeah, 5.
NFC South would be if New Orleans wasn't involved.
Well,
Tampa,
yeah.
Carolina, Atlanta. I mean,
But
those are
how far? Charlotte to Tampa is further than 5 hours.
standby.
Carolina to Charlotte.
Charlotte to Tampa, I bet, is further than from here to Baltimore. I remembered when I moved up here, I drove from Tallahassee to
Yes.
Knoxville, and it was 6.
Charlotte to Atlanta is 3. I did that all the time in college. Charlotte to Atlanta is 3.
And it's at least 3. It's more than 3 from Atlanta to Tampa. It's got to be more like 6 or
Yeah.
5.
Yes. Yeah. Charlotte to Tampa is. I think it's going to be.
I think it's 8.
8.5. Yeah, 8.5.
Is it 8.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8. So
Yes.
see, there's
That's what I'm looking.
and then New Orleans would be
New Orleans is way over
way
there.
over there. New Orleans is 4 hours from. I mean, it's 3 from the Florida line.
that's what I'm trying to think. Like,
There's nobody.
Nobody.
This is it. The
Yeah.
AFC North is the closest proximity conference. I don't think it's honestly particularly close.
New Orleans to Charlotte is 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
long
definitely.
3
ways.
of the AFC East.
Yeah, but,
But not
Miami to
Miami.
But
Buffalo.
then you have Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, AFC East.
AFC
Yeah, you got
East.
Miami.
That's what I said. Like 3 of them. I
Yeah.
come up with 2 or
No,
3
no.
that
NFC
are
East is fine, and then you have
somewhat
Dallas.
close. Yeah.
Right. We're the one. It's not particularly close. That's the one. Because everything else, it's
Maybe we need to reconfigure the divisions.
well. I would like if you swap some AFC NFC stuff, Gibbe. Do
Same.
some of those swaps.
Let's get us in the NFC.
That'd be a win. Bring old Detroit over here, and we'll go play in the NFC
In the
Norris.
Norris.
I'm in. I'd absolutely do it. We'll take a look at some of the most expensive wide receiver rooms in football coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Experience full throttle family fun at Monster Jam. World-class athletes and their 12,000-pound monster trucks tear up the dirt in wide-open competition, speed, and skill. The most action-packed motorsports experience for families in the world today returns to Cleveland Browns Stadium on Saturday, June 3rd. For more information, go to clevelandbrownsstadium.com. Monster trucks, man.
Coming soon.
It's a big deal, man.
Shout out to our grounds crew.
Yeah.
They got their
Yeah,
work
they
cut
gotta
out
get
for
that
them.
set.
Get all that
Weren't
dirt
we-
in and get
didn't
all
we
that dirt
have-
out.
Last year, didn't we have a practice that we did a broadcast from down there at the stadium, and then they were taking the field?
Correct.
What
The
was
final
that?
mini camp practice.
We were down there. That's
Was
right.
at the stadium.
And then they had like Monster Jam like that weekend, and they were starting to. They took out the goalposts, and they were
Yeah, it
as
was.
we were there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
but not going to be the case this year.
Yeah.
We'll be here for mini camp.
There you go. All the way through, because that was just the last day, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. They did stuff like they did a barbecue, I think, for the team, and
Yeah, I remember the smell.
families
I don't remember
all
tasting
came.
it, but I remember the smell.
the tellers announced they were pregnant.
There you go.
Remember, there was a photo shoot on the field.
I
That's
do.
right. That's right. This is from Sharp Football. Most expensive wide receiver rooms in 2023. The Cardinals are one.
I definitely think that it's somewhat misleading in terms of, because I think he's going off of like 1 year cap hits. For example, we're where we are because I think Amari this year is at $23 million, I think is his cap hit. So their Cardinals
like-
are going to be up there because of something in DeAndre Hopkins' contract would be my guess.
Would seem like it. So we're fifth on this thing at 39.7.
Right, but
But it's misleading because this could be like a guaranteed money pop, something like that.
it's very misleading, I would say, because you look at our wide receiver room. So Amari's cap number this year is $24 million. So that's 24, right? Then you got DPJ at 2.7 because he earned that as a 6th-round pick in last year's rookie deal because he played so well and got those performances. That resets his contract. So that's 2.7. So we're at 24 and 3. We'll call it 27 right there. But everybody else, Jakeem Grant, if he makes it, he's under 2. Goodwin's 1.6. Elijah Moore's 1.4. David Bell's 1.1.
Yeah.
I mean,
that doesn't get there.
no, everybody else is so small. I don't know if it gets to the number that he's got for us, but it's really inflated by 1 year of Amari.
So my
being
guess is this is
at-
probably like a 32 million DeAndre Hopkins.
right. So it's got, let's see, team. If I pull up Arizona, my guess is Hopkins has some monster. Yeah, he's at 30
There you go. So that's the deal.
because of his cap number this year. So it's.
Does he really play for that team this year?
I don't think so, and nor ultimately do I think that Kyler Murray plays for that team this year.
I've been on record. I'd redshirt him.
I think
Either as an asset
As
or
an asset.
Either way.
I think they're.
I would use him as an asset.
It's
I think
pretty
he's
clear
very
their
tradable.
goal is the tank. It's very tradable.
I would tank. I would absolutely pick between those quarterbacks, May and Williams at number 1.
Yep.
And I would do that in a second. And I would put him on the market to Atlanta or someone of that ilk.
Yep.
And I mean, him in Atlanta would be perfect. The turf, that run game,
Absolutely.
it's a
Or
home run.
Miami if there's no two. Yeah.
If that can't
Yep.
work, like
yes.
yeah, for
There's.
sure.
I think there are a lot of great opportunities for him, and they have because of the trade with Houston. They could end up with 2 of the top picks in the draft, and they could probably get a 1 for Kyler. I mean, they could end up with loaded.
Yeah, I mean, you could go Williams and Harrison
Yes.
for them. I mean,
Right.
That's very much in play.
Yep.
You could reset everything with them. So yeah, they're in a great spot. And I would absolutely redshirt him, and I would dump Hopkins.
Yep.
Find a landing spot.
Find
there.
somebody who wants him.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's going to be a lot. It's interesting as you look at this. This year, it didn't feel like there were that many spots for quarterbacks to land. Like Rodgers felt like he could only go to the Jets.
Yep.
There wasn't really anywhere else to go. It feels like next year there could be a lot of places for somebody like Kyler to go.
Yeah, and depending on what, the guy that we always talk about on this show, depending on what are the Rams and
Stafford.
what do they want to do with Matt Stafford. So I'm going to see if I can pull up real quickly. So Kyler would be, that'd have to be is this the last year of his deal?
Of
Or
his
the-
rookie deal?
The 4th year?
He extended, remember, last year? He got that
right.
huge
He got the huge
extension.
extension. You're right.
It was
And
like
they put the caveat in
231.
there.
Yeah.
So I don't know about how they could make it work in a trade scenario. Let's see. Trade. If they were to trade him next year,
Yeah.
they actually would. They could save some cap money by trading him next year.
After this year.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So redshirt it, get healthy, don't hurt the asset,
Yeah.
trade the asset next year
They
before
would
the
eat.
deadline.
They would eat
Or before
13 million of dead money.
Yeah.
If they trade him, if they designated the trade as post June 1st, they'd
Yep.
eat 13 million dead money and free up 38 million of cap space if they were to trade. If they were to trade Kyler.
Now someone would have to have the space to take it on,
Yes.
so that would be the thing. But you have some time to
Stafford.
get organized on that front.
Stafford. Again, it would have to be a post June 1st. They'd owe him 18.5, and then it would save 31 million next year.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's all possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't really. It feels like it would be very difficult for any of them to be moved. Well, this year you could move both of them this year again after June 1st. Like Stafford could be traded in the middle of the season, and they would be able to make that work economically.
Those are things to watch for once we get into the season, once we see what the schedule has to be, a schedule that you'll see in its entirety tonight. Who deserves the most primetime games in 23? We'll get into that coming up next. Remember, it's a mailbag edition as well. Tweet your questions to Gibbe at Browns_Daily. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 WKNR. Mistake cause your injury, call the medical malpractice attorneys at 1-800-ELK Ohio. Elk and Oak's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Is this this feels a little bit like Would You Rather?
Yes.
A little bit?
Sure,
right?
could be.
Yeah. Yep. Something like that?
Yeah.
I like it, Gibbe.
It just, just trying to mold my game after the best.
No, I like it. I think it's very I think that's what we're doing here. I like it. Which do you like?
By the way, shout out to our great people in the cafe. They took Zagura's suggestion, did a cucumber jalapeno pineapple water.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for bringing me one, fellas. Appreciate that.
Back-to-back days.
Would you be interested in that?
What am I, hard of interest?
I don't know. I'm drinking bottled water right here.
I mean, of course I like an infused water. I mean,
Although
a cucumber?
Me too. It's
Z
delightful.
said leave the seeds.
Yeah, leave the seeds and the jalapeno in there.
No, that's for you. That's tough.
Yeah, for me.
Just a little bit for you on the side, maybe.
Fine.
Yeah, because that.
I don't mind a little heat in my water.
No, I know, but I think that the masses aren't ready for that type of heat. Did you ever figure out the rub? Lavelle ever figure out the rub?
No.
I don't think so.
No mention of it today. Today's food is ever since Lavelle's got involved. The food
Guy's a
is-
game changer.
No doubt.
Pleases me to
Confirmed.
I thought he was out of my life forever.
No,
and now
back.
not.
And all he wants to do is see you. And
He's
I'm like,
my
dude,
guy.
just come on over.
Come to the house.
What the hell are you two doing? We're undisclosed locationing.
Yeah, and think about what I said.
Think about what he said before.
Well, his was worse.
Boom, boom.
Mine
No,
was
what did I say?
It
Mine
wasn't
was-
independently. Both were
I said-
innocuous.
hold
Together,
on.
it's specific.
mine's actually a curveball.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not.
Absolutely, it is.
What the?
That's true. It's true.
No.
Yes,
Specifically,
No.
Yes.
it is. Yep.
I got people.
knuckler.
I think I have people on the other side.
Just go to the segment, for God's sake. Save us.
Yep.
Before we have
Way to
have
go.
Who
handles.
deserves
Way
to
to go,
have
Gibbe.
more
You
prime
blew
time
it.
games in
You
2023?
blew it,
Except
boy.
I did not.
All right, go ahead.
Who deserves to have more prime time
Deserves
games?
or okay, deserves.
Deserves. Your
Okay.
opinion. Who deserves more
Okay.
leading up to this schedule?
Who am I
release
more
that-
interested in, or who do I think is more worthy?
Which way would you like to do it?
Because I think sometimes those are different answers. All right, let's go.
I'm open.
Let's go.
You can give me both if you'd like.
All right, go. I'm in.
AFC East, Bills or Jets? Coop, give me a little traveling music back there.
Bills are more deserving. I'm more interested in the Jets.
Absolutely interested in the Jets. Let me see the Jets. Jets.
Here's the
Jets.
I want, especially early.
Whoa.
Show me something
There you
I
go.
haven't seen.
There you go.
Big
Mix that
show me
down.
state guy. Show me
Yep.
something I haven't seen. I think I know what the Bills are going to look like. They're fun.
Same.
They're fun.
This
I
is
like
new.
watching them
This is
play.
a new
It's
toy.
New. It's new.
It's all fun and games unless it goes south.
Yeah.
Well,
even if
and
it does,
by the
that's
way, that'll be incredible. Him getting skewered for
Oh,
ayahuasca
So-
in the New York media
Oh,
is going to
God.
be incredible.
It's interesting no matter what.
If
Yes.
we're not rooting for any injuries, but if Rodgers goes down, is Zach Wilson then the backup?
Yeah, and Rodgers is Zach Wilson's idol. So he's been all thrilled with this. And listen, if he has
Zach Wilson's still a young dude. I think
Yes.
it's smart not to bail on him.
totally agreed.
He's still an asset. You can rehabilitate that.
Yeah.
Don't you go Balin?
Forgot to charge my computer.
No,
Totally did.
that's it.
Sad.
You got to fly by the seat of your pants now.
I know it.
Well, he's got a phone.
I love that we both went with
Wait,
orange
don't you
long
have a
sleeves
don't you have
today.
a charger right there? You can plug it right in.
No,
that's
that's
a phone or an
not a
iPad
laptop.
charger.
So it's
sad.
Bad job. All right, go ahead, give it.
AFC North. Who deserves more primetime games? Bengals or Ravens?
Bengals.
Bengals for sure.
But you would rather see?
Bengals. I like watching.
I don't.
Burrow.
I like watching. Yeah, same.
I like Burrow and Chase.
I
like
am
watching them
curious. So today on Pro Football Talk,
slay. Okay.
I'm gonna have to give me 1 second to get there. My likes. Todd Monken.
Yep.
Yes, I saw.
We
this.
want to take some of the offensive burden off of Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
While discussing the offense, Monken made reference to baking and said cookies taste better with sugar than vinegar, so you want to surround yourself with sugar on the offense. Quote, I think the more talented you are around your quarterback, the less he has to burden, to take on that burden, to shoulder the load, because you're excited about getting others the football where they can utilize their skill set. As you get further into your career, as Lamar gets older, as everybody does, you want to take some of that off of the player as best you can. But he has a unique trait, a unique skill set. You can't take that completely out of his toolbox, because that's a huge weapon for him and for us. It's using his feet. Jackson said he wants to throw for 6,000 yards, and Florio says that might be more sugar than even Monken is planning.
No, I don't think that.
They're not throwing for 6,000 yards.
Well, of course they're not. But if they did, Monken would be thrilled.
Monken would be thrilled. 6,000 yards.
Yeah.
Although I'd imagine if you throw for 6,000 yards, unless you're doing it in a Madden-esque style, you're probably not winning that much.
You wouldn't think. No. Think about that. That's so 54-77 is the record.
Yes.
In one less game.
Right. So you still need a 500-yard game after that.
You need a
523.
Yeah.
That is a big old matzo ball.
Onward we go, division-wise. Chargers or Broncos?
The Chargers are more fun to watch. I'm more curious about the Broncos.
You know, I got to have my Chargers, baby. The powder blue.
Back on
They
the
look
list.
great. They look great.
Resplendent.
They look great.
All you need is a coach. To the NFC East, Philly or Dallas?
I think it's Philly for me.
Yep, Philly.
Both most deserving and more interested to watch.
Agreed.
I'm curious to see how Hurts stacks it now that there's a year of scouting on him and the offense.
And tape, yeah.
I'm curious what they look like without Steichen calling the plays. And I'm curious what Swift looks like back there running it.
Yep.
Dallas is kind of known to me. Kind of know what that looks like.
Most explosive offense in the league since 2021, 29-point-something points a game. Dallas.
Yeah.
To the NFC Norris division,
Berman.
Minnesota or Chicago?
By the way, I wish the NHL would go back to that. That's good, Nick. That's good of you. So good. Did you kind of land? But I think you landed the plane on both accents a little bit, Gibby.
He was shy on Chicago, though.
He wasn't quite as firm on Chicago as he was on. You were very confident. Your Minnesota was dialed in. That was a Fargo-esque Minnesota. That was very good.
Very good.
Appreciate that.
Bears. More interested. I guess Minnesota's more deserving. They were 13.
Yeah, they're more deserving, more interested in the Bears. But I do love watching Justin Jefferson play, and I'm curious to see. They get Addison. What does that look like? Cousins can still put up numbers. They got Hawkinson. I like the Vikings still. I still like their offense. It's interesting that we had been told, Dalvin Cook is going to be gone, that Derrick Henry was going to be gone, and both are still there. There was a rumor that Dalvin Cook was headed to Miami, but they drafted a guy that they loved, Devin. I don't know how you say his last name. A chain.
Okay.
Super fast, like the fastest running back in the draft. And McDaniel's all fired up. So I don't know if Miami's still a destination or not. But I still think the Vikings are fun to watch. Great uniforms. But the Bears are going to be interesting. And for Fields, I think it's time to, if he's going to ever become a guy, this is the year to do it.
I think he's a guy. I think the question is, can he become something other than a novelty?
Well, right now his best skill set is not long-lasting.
No, that's what I mean. It's like a novelty.
Yes.
Like the ceiling right now is like, some.
It's
like
Kaepernick-y.
It's like 80% of Lamar some type thing, or 90% of Lamar type thing. Like that's
as
kinda,
a runner. Yeah,
that's kind of where it is. Like he's got to come along.
Yeah.
Now he threw it. I don't know. Like he always threw it quite well at Ohio State. So
right.
you feel like someone could figure that out.
Upwards we go and onward we go to the NFC South. You have three options: play in traffic, Panthers, or Saints.
I'm curious to watch the Saints with Derek Carr. I have no problem. I think they might be an interesting team to watch.
They're the most deserving. I'll be curious how Bryce Young goes.
I don't know who he's throwing the ball to.
I understand, but we've never had a guy that size play extended. Like make it and be,
Yeah.
How's he going to make sure he doesn't take hits?
Yep.
If he plays it, he's 5'11", 175.
Yeah. That's wild.
Sheesh.
It's wild.
That's like me in high school. That's crazy to think you'd be playing in the league at that size and weight.
Final one, cross division, because the AFC South and the NFC West are awful. The 49ers clearly better than anyone in both divisions by a mile. Seahawks or
might not agree with that.
Jaguars?
Both. I want to see both of these teams. I'm really interested in the Jags. Calvin Ridley, what does he still have after not playing for quite some time? Trevor Lawrence's continued ascent. And then for the Seahawks, I just think that's going to be fun to watch. If Geno can do it, boy, they have a lot of talent.
These two are clearly the ones. I think the other – I just keep an eye open on – I just don't know what the heck the Rams are going to be. It doesn't feel like they should be good. It feels like that they're done. But, like, will they try to trade those guys? Because they still have holdovers. They just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Like, it's not that long ago.
You still have a star quarterback,
they have star
wide
quarterback,
receiver.
the best defensive player in the game, a stud receiver, like a great play caller. Like, are they really just going to be
Mailing it in.
5-12 or something with all them in the NFC? It just, I don't know. I think they could be a little bit surprising for people if they're healthy. Or they could go the other way and they could trade them all and start fresh or try to trade them all.
Yeah. Will be interesting to see tonight, kids.
All right, good job. Good job out of you, Gibbon.
Crazy stat for you. There are 2 teams in the NFL that have not had a losing season in the last 10 years.
Steelers,
And
Vikings.
Chiefs. Steelers and Chiefs. Only one team in the last 10 years has had only one losing season.
Yeah, because that would have been once they got Alex Smith, they didn't.
No,
That
yeah.
was it. Yeah.
Which team has only had one losing season in the last 10 years? This one stuns me.
One losing season in the last 10?
Mm-hmm.
Patriots,
Nope, they've had 2.
Titans.
They've had 4.
Sad.
Wow.
Ravens.
2.
All right, I'm not going to guess the whole.
Philly?
3. Seattle.
Yeah. Well, they had Russ.
So losing
His
seasons.
last year was it, right?
Losing seasons last 10 years, 0. Kansas City and Pittsburgh, 1. Seattle, 2. New England, Baltimore, and Dallas, 3. Buffalo, Philly, Green Bay, and Indy, 4. Miami, Minnesota, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Saints, the Titans, 5. Cincy, Houston, the Rams, the Niners, 6. Chicago, Detroit, Denver, 7. Tampa, Washington, Raiders, Carolina, Atlanta.
Jeez, Brady
8.
in the middle of that.
Giants, Jets, Jags, 9 alone.
Yeah.
Ugh.
How isn't that something, the number on Tampa Bay? Like, if Brady doesn't paratroop in there, they could have gone
And they win a
0 for 10.
Super Bowl.
He paratrooped in. They won it. They had 3 winning seasons. He won a Super Bowl and then was gone.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, they go 0 for 10.
Yeah, that's right.
We're 1-9.
That's right. 2020.
All right. Coming up next,
On that note,
we will we'll go around the league, and still time to get your questions in for the mailbag. Tweet them to Gibbe at Browns_Daily and use the hashtag AskCBD. That's coming up next. You'll see Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Rumpke family is operated as one of the nation's largest waste and recycling companies, providing top-level services to residential and commercial customers. That's Rumpke Waste Recycling. Visit rumpke.com to learn more. I saw this morning as well. The Patriots in their home opener, which will be week 2, I think, against Miami. They will have Tom Brady Day, and the Patriots will honor him and his return to New England. He'll be honored by per owner Robert Kraft. Kraft saying today that there would be first of many things a great many things that they will do for Tom Brady to honor him appropriately.
Do you think it's a coincidence it's the Dolphins?
No.
Me neither.
What if he's playing for the Dolphins?
Does any recruitment happen? They already got in trouble for tampering with him, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Is there double jeopardy? Can you not?
Do you remember that movie?
Ashley
That
Judd?
was Ashley Judd in Double Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Where they wrongfully convicted her for killing her husband,
Yes.
who she didn't actually kill, and then she got to kill him.
Correct.
And they couldn't go at her because they already had done it.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that movie was so convincing that I thought, well, maybe that is true.
I did too. Is it not?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like it would be.
You can't get tried twice for the same crime, right?
If I was convicted of murdering you,
Yes.
and then I got out,
Yep.
you weren't, as it turned out, dead,
Yeah.
and then post haste I then actually did,
This makes me really uncomfortable.
it feels like I would go in Dufresne style. I don't
would-
think they could say, well, I'm sorry,
I
even
would
though
want
you
you
didn't
to.
do it. I would want me to too. Like that to me feels, that doesn't seem to hold water to me. But
Yeah.
they were very convincing.
Yeah.
With every year, so Belichick, think about the salt for Belichick this is. Like he's been largely incompetent at being a general manager. They are a road to nowhere team. In fact, if he wasn't there, I would say they should tank right now. If I were New England,
Yes.
Yeah.
if he weren't there, I'd go 3-14.
They're not a serious contender.
They're going nowhere. Not only
Nowhere.
are they not a serious contender, they're not going to win ever with the roster as it is.
Yep.
There's no path in the AFC. Zero. Mac Jones is not on that level. Not. So if ever there was a time for them to go chips in, this would be the year with all these quarterbacks. But Belichick's not going to do that. It almost feels like the only way for Belichick to break Shula's record is not in New England. Like with a ready-made – because he can still coach. We saw that last year.
Yes.
He's
Yes.
elite.
Yes.
But he can't GM. So it almost feels like if he could paratroop into a ready-made situation next year, nothing that wouldn't surprise me at all. Like Brady did that.
What if Miami falters this year? They oust McDaniel.
Your boy?
I hope he does great. But then they somehow they get Bill.
Bring him in.
And Brady comes out of retirement. Bella Brady back in Miami.
To stick it to Kraft.
Yeah.
I think they all like Kraft.
Just drama.
Yeah. Certainly would be that.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry saying during an appearance on the radio stations down there that the renovations to TIAA Bank Field could force the Jaguars to play their games elsewhere for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
He called that the best-case scenario, suggested that under the current timeline, the Jaguars would be impacted in 2025, 2026. So what are they doing to it?
Their lease is up, I guess, with the stadium like 2029. So they're talking renovations. And
So what are they going to do to that place? More
I-
importantly, they would have to relocate Florida, Georgia. Cocktail party.
I don't know what they would do. What is there even to do to that stadium?
they already
Are they
put
gonna put a
pools
dome
in.
on? Yeah, like what more? What would you do to it unless you just toppled it and started over with a dome?
Yeah.
But that city can't support a dome. It's not big enough for that. The most logical place for them to play would be Orlando at UCF's new stadium.
Yep.
That's the most logical place if they had to play somewhere else for 2 years. They're not going to Tallahassee. They're not going to Gainesville. There's no other
Let's
stadium
see.
around there. UCF's would be the only one.
They'd have to go to
and it's
Orlando.
smaller.
What about the Citrus Bowl?
That's a dump.
I've been there for a WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's not good.
There was a WrestleMania at the Citrus Bowl?
Yeah.
How
Not
big
that
is
long
UCF
ago.
Stadium now? They just got a brand new one.
If the Jags were to remain in Jacksonville, the largest stadium in the city is on the campus of the University of North Florida, a stadium that can hold up to 12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice
so
try.
So that's not happening.
Central Florida just built a brand new stadium. It houses 45,000, which is small, obviously.
Small.
But it's nice. That's the one that would make the most sense.
Yeah, they said the four bigger options: Camping World Stadium in Orlando.
Yeah,
that's
60,000.
Citrus Bowl.
That's
Yeah.
Citrus Bowl.
Wembley in London, and they actually just go and play.
Like a whole season, like
Yeah.
as a test.
Gainesville,
No,
Tallahassee.
no. They're not playing in Tallahassee or Gainesville.
Why do you say no to both of those?
Gainesville would make the most sense. It's closer proximity. Tallahassee's tough. It's straight across the interstate, but it's a couple hours.
Yeah.
Gainesville would be the most. That you could do it in Gainesville. If memory serves, it's about an hour, maybe a little more.
Like what renovations?
I don't know what they would be doing to it. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium,
The Swamp.
the Swamp, renovated in 2017, can hold up to 90,000.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, it's great.
So isn't that where they would play?
So Gainesville's an hour and 20 minutes from Jacksonville.
That feels like where they would have to play. How far is
It's just-
Orlando?
Tallahassee's 2.5. I'd say Orlando's a couple hours. Orlando's 2:20.
So then Gainesville makes the most sense.
Gainesville makes the most sense. I just don't know if that city. Gainesville's
support it.
small. Like, could it handle an NFL?
Here we go.
They could handle all the game day stuff. I mean, they've had all those University of Florida games, so that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to know what they think they need to do to that stadium.
Here we go.
I don't get what they're doing to it.
There's not that much corporate
Among
dollars.
the information released
FedEx,
back in
right?
January.
FedEx is Memphis.
FedEx is Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not much in Jacksonville.
What's down there?
Like Alltel used to be there. There's not much.
Alltel.
HOK's initial concepts of the new home for the Jaguars and other world-class entertainment events.
Remember when
namely,
Urban Meyer said he was building some whole complex?
No, they were doing like a Four Seasons.
Yeah,
Like,
they got rid of all the
He
waterfront.
thought he was building like he was a college football player building
yeah.
like a facilities renovation. He was out there like selling it like that. Yeah, it was. They were doing a Four Seasons and all that stuff.
namely shade over all seats.
So that's
Well,
the
that's a big
Dolphins.
deal.
That's
Yeah.
the Dolphins thing, right?
Improved
that's the English football thing.
airflow, wider concourses, unique fan amenities, flexible capacity, and rain protection to help attract other major non-football events to Jacksonville.
So I wonder if they're going like a sliding dome, or if they're
I don't
going
know.
like Jackson or like Miami, like just over the covered areas.
By the way, CSX is the biggest company based in Jacksonville, number 257 on the Fortune 500, annual revenue of $11 billion, followed by Fidelity National Financial at 293, $9.5 billion.
Okay. There you go. Oh,
There it
that's
is.
interesting. That's an interesting one to watch. How that gets done there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, they only have 3 companies in the Fortune 500. That's it. CSX by far the biggest company.
Yeah. All right. It is a mailbag edition of the program. Get you still some time to get your questions to Gibbe at Browns_Daily. Use the hashtag AskCBD. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, we are down to our top 5 designs for the new dog logo. Vote now and let your voice be heard. Be sure to rank your favorite logos as the top 2 vote getters will advance to the final round. 1 vote per day. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/dog logo to cast your vote. Who is the first school that put the DAWG on dogs?
Georgia.
Go
in my
Dogs.
mind.
Is it Georgia?
That's what I would think.
Georgia who did it? We were the Bulldogs in high school, and it was I don't remember it being DAWG.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
DOGS.
What about the DO double G's?
DOGS.
Snoop.
Mr. Dog.
That'd be great.
Yeah, DO double G.
Thinking outside the box.
I think I want to just throw an idea out there with this for the logo. So I'm fully locked in. My final 2 are top left, bottom right. That's where I'm living. Bottom right now, a slight nod for me. I almost think it should go like, and each week one should there should be votes, and then one should be out, and then we get down to like a final 2.
I don't mind that. I thought the best thing they did on it was when they threw it on the gear.
Agreed. I'd like to see it on an all
I
brown
know you felt
gear.
it was a bias gear a little bit.
Not a bias gear,
Just accentuated one more than others, maybe.
yes.
Yeah.
How many? By the way, when's the last time you saw or either of us have worn a Browns hat that was brown with an orange lid?
No, I don't know that that's even. Does that exist?
It has to exist somewhere.
I feel like the only hats we ever see are the all
All
brown.
brown.
Yeah.
All brown is typically. I don't
Or
even
a bucket
know.
hat.
I'm trying to think. I think for the boys last year when we went to the game for Beamsy's birthday, I went because we were in the sun, and I went and scooped up brownie hats, and I think we got an orange one, maybe.
Yeah. I have an orange brownie one.
Orange brownie one.
Yeah.
But for the
one
most
of my
part,
favorite hats.
yeah. Most part, it feels like the brown is the way to go. The best ones that we've had. There was the one that had the orange stripe on the side of it. They were the 3930s.
Yes. It was all brown and had the orange stripe.
Stripes.
Browns even
Yeah.
said Browns in brown on the front. It was from our Color Rush.
Yeah, and then
That's
the
a great
next
hat.
year we had another one that was all brown. That was a 3930 that just said Browns on it, but then it had orange on the outside of it. That was a good one. The Brownie the Elf one from a couple of years ago was good. That was the color on color monochrome.
Yes.
That was good. Yeah. So I agree. I think it's fun. Those 2 are my 2 favorite as well. My boys went all top left, and I thought top left looked great on the gear. I thought it looked really, really good on the gear.
I wouldn't disagree.
All right, time for the mailbag, Gibby.
You can tweet us your questions to @Browns_daily.
That's right.
Love a dog today. Thoughts on lamb or goat on the grill? Yay or nay?
I love
I love a lamb. I'm not
Oh
eating
my
goat,
God.
man.
I do a ton of
Goat.
I do a ton
What are
of
you
lamb loin
doing?
chops, actual lamb chops. Goat shows up in some curries, I want to say. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a connoisseur,
eating
but I
no
would.
goat.
I don't even know where I would buy it to put it on my grill. I know where I can get lamb, and I love lamb.
I have the benefit. This would be my piece of advice to you.
Yeah.
Don't ever go someplace where you see lamb, like little sheep, because I think it's harder to eat if you get that in your mentality.
Not me.
It would be. Trust me. And
I
then
mean, I was all over New Zealand as a young man, frolicking with the sheep, and New Zealand lamb's the best.
and goat, same.
What is
If
right?
you've ever walked around, like if you ever
You're saying
see
they're
like
too cute?
goats cruise around, there's no way you'd eat it.
Are you saying they're too cute, the sheep, or you're saying they're too nasty?
Lethal combination of them both.
He has a follow-up, more of a Buckeye question, so probably a good Bo Bishop question.
All right.
Any intel on how good Sonny Styles can be? Like what I hear, and by name and pedigree alone, it sounds like he has superstar written all over him.
Sonny Styles is they love him. The crazy thing about him is so it's Lorenzo Styles' son. His other son, Lorenzo Styles Jr., transferred over to Ohio State from Notre Dame and is making the transition from receiver to corner this year. But Sonny is the one. So Sonny was the best basketball player on the court last year in the state finals. That included the last 2 Mr. Ohio's in basketball. That's how dominant athletically he is.
Jeez.
He is right now. He's really fixated on playing safety. I think in their perfect world, he does what Dos Unos did for Clemson, and he's kind of a one-man missile. who plays like a linebacker hybrid safety. But he is 6'5", he's 225, he's freakishly athletic. They love him, and he's going to be a dude.
All right.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
By the way, breaking news from Poisal.
Oh, AP.
What?
Huge opportunity to join the squad. Multimedia staff writer intern for the Browns posted.
What is this? What
Poisal's
was it?
got some help coming?
A multimedia
His
staff
assistant?
writer intern.
Can a 25-year-old have an assistant unless they create a tech company?
I don't think so. But good for him.
Good questions.
Poisal's going to have an assistant, huh?
Probably needs it.
Yeah.
Does a lot of writing.
Yeah, he does.
Shane Trevor tweets at the show, since we all know AI is going to take over soon, what do you think is the scariest AI in cinema history?
Ooh, that's good.
He says, I say HAL 9000. I don't know what that is.
That's Space Odyssey. Most terrifying AI. I mean, Terminator
That's what I think.
is from my youth, but wasn't there a Will Smith one that was pretty brutal?
Isn't it just AI? Isn't it artificial intelligence?
I feel like yes.
There's a Will Smith one that wasn't great.
Yeah, he went
I
through.
mean, there really hasn't been. We've known it's been around forever, but there hasn't been like a
iRobot, is that?
iRobot. I think that's it.
iRobot.
There hasn't been an AI like. I'm surprised there hasn't been like an AI series the way there's been like zombie series,
Yeah,
because it's plenty to be terrified about.
All right. Graham tweets at the show, where did Zagura get his shoes?
These are gorgeous.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Just got him Jordan 11 Comforts.
Every season starts at Dick's.
That's right. And I think you had it right. I think these were made with the University of Florida in mind. I mean, it's the blue.
Oh my
Gators,
God! And
the
they're
orange.
All the
Gator.
way.
They're Florida's a Jordan school. By the way, speaking of sponsorships, Notre Dame, their partnership with Under Armour, the negotiating window is closed, so Notre Dame is a free agent in the gear market. So they have never been with Nike. I think my sources tell me that Marcus Freeman would love for them to go to Nike or Jordan brand.
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel like then it's going to happen?
Yeah, I would say so. They've been Adidas.
They've been
Under
Adidas,
Armour.
yeah.
They were Adidas years ago, and then they're Under Armour now. And so they're the last one of these that flopped was UCLA flopped from Under Armour when Under Armour had the money trouble. They flipped Jordan brand. So keep an eye on that.
Interesting. Mike tweets at the show, when wiping with... Okay.
Oh boy.
How did you even start reading that?
Oops-a-daisy.
I mean, I could have gone down that
Ron
road.
Burgundy.
Nah, that's all right. If DTR is our QB3, will he likely go on the practice squad? Can he be protected there?
No, they would put him. My guess is if DTR is on our team, which I believe that he will be kept active. He will be inactive on game days, but he will be kept on the 53. If you like a quarterback, you don't put him on the practice squad
No.
so that he can be plucked.
True. Scrolling through some other questions.
By the way,
What do you got
when we were over in the cafe,
while I'm doing this?
we saw DeJuan Jones.
Okay. Big Thanos.
My God, yes.
He's huge.
Yeah. They don't give a nickname like that without it.
In my
applying.
mind, I expected him to be like a giant, but then again, I'm 6'5", so 6'8's really not. I mean, it's big, but it's not that
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, like in my mind, I thought he was gonna be like 7'2", but he
Yeah.
is just enormous.
Huge.
Yes, enormous.
So you can see why, like, from a basketball standpoint, like, there's a tractor trailer feel to him.
yeah, and he wore 54 in those highlights, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Had to be a tractor trailer homage.
Feels like it, yeah.
I'll ask him that. I'm gonna talk to him tomorrow. I will say that he looks. If Siaki Ika truly was 350 when we talked to him and he came in, DeJuan Jones looks like he's got Siaki Ika by 100 pounds, not 30.
Yeah. Well, is that a good thing though?
I don't know.
Does it look like he carried it well?
Yeah, he just looked big.
Yeah. I wonder if he could
Ika's
play
a big
D
boy
tackle.
too.
You think you could do that with somebody who had that type of athleticism, like make him a D tackle?
I mean, yeah.
Why not? I mean, we played 3 defensive
No one ever
ends
does
out
that.
of the 4 defensive linemen before.
Right, but like 6'8".
What was the name of that package under Joe Woods?
What?
The 3 defensive ends on the field.
Oh, it's Cheetah or NASCAR. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would require multiple people, I think, to block him. By the way, it appears that the NFL did a great job of keeping things under wraps, and now all of a sudden it feels on Twitter that there's an explosion of purported information happening.
Sounds about right.
One of the most successful, smartest people I've ever known, the late, great John F. Wolfe of the Dispatch Broadcast Company fame. Best piece of advice. If you have a secret, tell no one.
If you want it to stay a secret,
Tell no one.
you're darn right.
Tell no one.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that.
People can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves.
I have one from last week that I never got to with Brown's therapy.
I got Brown's therapy right now with the scariest AI nightmare he's ever had. It's a Gibbe's head on a bunch of robots. I'm terrified.
Segura, Bishop, Gibbs, and myself all go together to see a movie. What are we seeing? Where are we eating after?
We all go to see a movie?
Yeah.
Like right now? Is it based on what's in theaters right now? We're going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because I've heard it's great. And I'm going to go see it on Friday.
Okay.
Where would we go? Maybe if we're going by the nice Cinemark over there, we could go to Lock Keepers. Fine Italian little steak down there on the canal.
Why do I need something fancy after a movie?
It's
I'm
the
gonna
mood.
I'm gonna eat like some popcorn. I'm probably gonna eat
It's
a few
the mood,
snacks.
Gibbe. It's the mood.
By the way, those are some nice little shoes you got over there too, there, buddy.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, those are great.
Montana State.
Montana State's blue and gold. This was the pecan chocolate brown.
Yeah, for
Air
the
Force
Browns.
ones for the Browns. University of Montana used to be copper and gold. Now they are maroon and white.
That's what I thought.
Maroon
there was
and
a
silver.
maroon and
Yeah, that's my brother.
kind of looked like
The
a
alma
maroon
mater
from
of my
back
brother.
here, but
Yeah.
I,
There you go.
yeah, just give me something I can have some beverages. Like, why can't we go do tacos?
Do that too. That's fine. That's fine. I think you were just trying to go geographically.
I was going geographic. Yeah.
What made sense for the?
Oh,
There's a great
close.
joint right down the street from there. You talking about Cinemark in Valley View?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Great
I'll
theater.
take it.
You got a joint?
What,
You got a
taco
place over
place?
there?
Yeah,
What?
it's right down the street. It's right down from that. It's
You talking about the Mexican places by the bowling alley?
yeah, I love that place.
It's great.
It's a chain.
It's lovely.
It's
I'm not gonna call it
100%
fine
a
dining.
chain. I
don't know if we get Bo Bishop in there. I will say there,
What
I
part
did
of
go
fine
there.
dining do we need?
Well, what's the point of eating food unless it's good? I love good food, but I like good food in all shapes and
It's good
sizes. That's
food.
true. I will say the only knock I ever had on that place is I went and I ordered a jalapeno margarita, and they brought me a margarita with pickled jalapenos in it.
Well, that
I was like,
Oopsie daisy.
"What do you want me
Yeah.
to do with this?"
What do you want me to do with this? What would you do?
By the way, that does not work.
That does not work. No.
Just FYI.
The vinegar is a bit of a game changer. No one wants that
Harsh.
in their tequila. None.
No.
So
Not
much
me.
more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Are you newly engaged or planning a
got something there?
No.
Right.
Rumors
Abound.
running wild. Rumors abound. Yes.
Oh boy,
Oh baby.
going to be exciting. Schedule
Gonna be
release
exciting.
tonight.
Nothing will be played
No,
for a long time.
we've got a lot going on tomorrow's show. So we have that. We've got rookies.
Yep.
Yep.
We got
Rookies
some
in the
rookie
building.
interviews in the building.
Interviews.
So you have that to look forward to, which is very, very
Sound
nice. Big,
galore.
Big Friday program. In the meantime, it's gorgeous today.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Go enjoy
day.
it.
Go
Tomorrow,
get out
that
there.
looks so great.
Get out there on the links.
Get out there and live a little bit.
A little
man.
bit. Go ahead and grill some tasty meats.
Not goat.
Not.
Thank God.
Next level is next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.